Ivan Toney to Arsenal looks like it has gone ahead to remain as a solo race, as the other team that was competing with Arsenal has gone ahead to pull out, and it looks like Arsenal is going to enjoy the monopoly, and that will help them really negotiate a deal that can favor the team of Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. This is the transfer news show. I was talk about Nuno Espírito, one of those that have gone ahead to obviously put in a shift to see to it that he boards a plane to travel to England to be the next manager of a certain Premier League team that is contemplating on sacking their manager after the team that they've been supporting has gone after the team he has been managing has gone ahead obviously not to get a win in very many games. And we're going to have a little bit of Nkunku, one of the factors that might have gone ahead to obviously lead to Arsenal being in a solo race to sign Ivan Toney in this January transfer window. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum, and we thank the Lord that has gone ahead to make it happen. It's a Friday, it's a Tuesday, and it's the 19th of December. Just 6 days to the just 6 days to the end. Just 6 days to reach Christmas, not so? And we are really geared up for Christmas, right? But remember, there are other games over the weekend, and even today there is a game in the Carabao Cup. Now, we are having a story coming in through from Rahman Osman. He's a football writer for the LondonWorld.com, and he also writes for the National World Group. So he has told us that Chelsea are not going after Ivan Toney. He's more likely to join Arsenal in January. Now, if you're an Arsenal fan and you always wanted the services of Ivan Toney, you really understand exactly why I've gone ahead to call it a solo race, because Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur were the two other teams that wanted to sign Ivan Toney. And I came out here and I really did all those stories that Chelsea wants to sign Ivan Toney and Tottenham Hotspur want to sign Ivan Toney. But last week I brought you a story that Tottenham Hotspur have gone ahead to pull out from the deal of Ivan Toney, and they are going in for Rafinha. That's what I went ahead to really let you know about, because the manager of Tottenham Hotspur sees Kulusevski as one of those players that can play as a central attacking midfielder or maybe as a left attacking midfielder. So he wants to obviously bring on Rafinha. So in the due course of bringing on Rafinha, they pulled out of the deal to sign Ivan Toney. Now, Chelsea have been another team that wanted to sign a striker in the January transfer window, because they are one of those teams that have gone ahead to create very many chances in this league, but chances are really not going on well. And by the way, for me, I believe signing a striker is not a solution to the problems of Chelsea not scoring, because they're having Nicholas Jackson, and Nicholas Jackson has 7 goals in 16 games, and he's really one of the best scoring people in the Premier League. If at all you look at the table, and if you look at the table, let me see, Premier League top. When you look at the Premier League top scorers, Erling Haaland is having 14 goals. Mohamed Salah is having 11. Son Heung-min is having 10. Gerard Bowen is having 10. Oli Watkins is having 9. And Nicholas Jackson is having 7. So I think it's not really a very big disappointment, and people are trying to exaggerate it, that Nicholas Jackson is not going ahead obviously with the midfield. But what do you expect from a player like Nicholas Jackson when he's playing in a team that doesn't have a central attack midfielder? And that's why I went ahead and advised Chelsea that all you need is a central attacking midfielder, and maybe even these other players like Raheem Sterling, Mukalo, Modric should obviously go on and really add on the many goals, on the 7 goals that Nicholas Jackson was going to hate to get them. Because when you look at Arsenal, they have no player who's going to hate to score 7 goals as a striker in the league. You know, Nketiah is having 5, Jesus is having 3, and in that entire team of Arsenal, I think Saka has, is it 5 Premier League goals, right? So in so doing, they've gone ahead to see to it that Arsenal are really on top of the Premier League table because of the goals of Kai Havertz. Maybe Declan Rice has gone ahead to come in through on a couple of 3 occasions. Jesus, Nketiah, Martinelli, Odegaard, those are the goals. I've gone ahead to take Arsenal to the top of the table. Even if you have a person who really is powering in goals and firing all cylinders as far as scoring goals are really concerned as a number 9, it doesn't guarantee you a top spot. So, I think Chelsea are right to pull out of this deal of Ivan Toney and to leave Arsenal to obviously gate this play if at all Arsenal is really interested. But the rumors are Arsenal are really interested in Ivan Toney and they want to obviously bring him at the club of Arsenal. So they're into this solo race. And what does it benefit Arsenal when it's a solo race? It benefits Arsenal with a solo race in one, negotiation with Brentford, because Brentford will have to dance to the £50 million that Arsenal want to buy Ivan Toney. Brentford went ahead to put up the asking price that they can cash in for Ivan Toney as 60 to 65 million pounds, and Arsenal are valuing him at only 50 million pounds, meaning that if Arsenal are sorely into this race, that confirms their monopoly in this deal. And when you're having a monopoly over deal, then you can see how things really happen. You can easily go in for that player when no one else is really chasing after that player, and you really get to where you want to go. And for Arsenal, these are moments that Edu understands better, because they've shown us that even when there is competition, they've gone ahead to fight off that competition and they've gone ahead to get on the players they want. For example, Declan Rice, Man United, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Man City were interested in Declan Rice. They went ahead to come in through as the hugest bidders, and they really paid £105 million to bring him on at the club of Arsenal. You get Gabriel Jesus, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, Juventus wanted to sign the player. They beat off the competition. Kai Havertz, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid wanted to sign the player, but they really fought to get the player at the Emirates, and they really did. So, to me, it just comes to understanding that if at all they can obviously prevail through those tough situations, then they can prevail through this situation of Ivan Toney when it's really a solo race. And I think Arteta and Edu are going to be really smiling. They're going to be smiling, and the solo race will work well for them because they can manipulate this deal to where they want it to be. So this is what Arsenal are really going to do. But they should also understand that if you really take long to negotiate a deal, a hijack might be done like it happened last year. Like it happened last year with Mukalo Modric. Mid-January, Arsenal were leading the rest. They made the first bid, second bid, third bid, But Chelsea came in through and really hijacked the deal because Arsenal were taking forever to get that deal happen. So they should also look into that, because every good thing has a negative about it. So that's what Arsenal should do. But it's obviously playing in the hands of Arsenal, and they might be going to get in Ivan Toney when no one else is obviously willing to offer money to obviously sign him on a permanent deal like Arsenal. But I really told you that Arsenal believe a loan with an option to buy will act better for the side of Arsenal, and Brentford might obviously see themselves receiving close to £80 million from the side of Arsenal if at all they really get the deal of Raya out of the way and they really cash out close to £30 million, and if at all the aggregate deal of £30 million for Ivan Toney, Arsenal might be going to spend £80 million onto these two players in the summer. But it works well for the club of Arsenal, because that means you'll be having Ivan Toney in the club, and he'll use these 6 months obviously get used to the club of Arsenal and other players. So if Arteta's gone ahead to obviously make a decision that Ivan Toney is the guy, who am I to say no? Because most of the players that Arteta's gone ahead to sign have gone ahead to obviously coming through and really thrive at the club of Arsenal, especially big money signings that we'll discuss on later. Now, the man that is responsible for Chelsea to pull out of the deal of Ivan Toney is none other than Nkunku. And today, Christopher Nkunku is set to make his Chelsea debut against Newcastle tonight, and Mauricio Pochettino will be licking his lips at the prospect of linking him up with Carl Palmer. So, this is the reason as to why Chelsea are really pulling out of the deal, because if Nkunku comes back, that means Chelsea will be having 3 center forwards. Nkunku, the other guy is called Nicholas Jackson, and Ahmad Broja. Those are the 3 center forwards that Chelsea are going to be having. Now, if you're having 3 center forwards, you'll be asked, what's the reason to spend huge money onto Ivan Toney? So, it doesn't make any positive sense. That is it. It doesn't add up right, and it really puts Chelsea in a very vulnerable situation in other positions, like the position I've always gone ahead to obviously alarm a lot about. That is the central attacking midfielder, because if you're having Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson, and Ahmad Broja, and you're really having a very certified central attack midfielder like in the ilk of Odegaard, Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, and James Maddison, that means those 3 forwards will obviously get you goals. If I'm Pochettino, all what I'm supposed to do is simple. Go out and get in a central attacking midfielder. You know, when the likes of Enzo Fernandez or Romeo Lavia or Moise Caicedo, depending on who was going to hit to start in the double pivot, get that ball and get to this central attacking midfielder, he can easily operate better. Because for me, Conor Gallagher is not that kind of player. Conor Gallagher is a deep-lying midfielder. That is it. But you need that central attacking midfielder to play ahead of that double pivot of Chelsea to really put the creation for Nkunku or Nicholas Jackson or Ahmad Broja. And you'll understand exactly what it means if at all they really get in one, because they really miss the service of such a player. But Nkunku's return is the reason as to why Chelsea have gone ahead to obviously get out of the deal of Ivan Toney, because they know that Nkunku can get them the goals. And Nkunku linked well with Nicholas Jackson during the summer, during the preseason. You know, they linked up well, but badly. Nkunku went ahead to get what we call any injury, and he really pulled out of the Chelsea squad, but returns today as Chelsea takes on Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, and it's really gonna look very, 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 very good for Chelsea. And we don't know whether he's gonna start or not. But in the game of Sheffield, he never played a minute, and the manager looks like he knows exactly when to bring him on. And today at 23 hours, obviously the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, it's Chelsea taking on Newcastle, right? Then Everton is going to play Fulham, and Middlesbrough is going to play Port Vale. Then Liverpool tomorrow will play against West Ham. Those are the 4 games that are going to be played in there for you. And for Mauricio Pochettino, he knows that this is really a very huge day for him. He's playing at the Stamford Bridge, and he needs to win this game of football. So we wait and see how that really pans out in the nick of time. So let's go to the man himself, Fabrizio Romano. Yesterday night, he put out a story about the possibility of Nuno Espírito Santo to return to the Premier League. And he said, understand, Nottingham Forest are in contact with Nuno Espírito Santo as potential new head coach. Talks are ongoing. Former Al Ittihad, Spurs and Wolves manager is top candidate in case Nottingham Forest decide to fire Steve Cooper. Now, this was a story put out yesterday night, and just like 30 minutes back, Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to confirm to us that understand Nuno Espírito Santo is on his way to England right now and is set to sign as a new Nottingham Forest head coach. Agreement imminent. He will replace Steve Cooper if all goes to plan. So it looks like Steve Cooper has gone ahead to obviously get a sack, and it's soon going to be announced in a nick of time, because they've gone ahead to be really doing very, 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 very badly. And trust me, they lost to Spurs, you know, they lost to Tottenham, and when they lost to Spurs, he had no chance, because in the previous games they've gone ahead to play as Nottingham Forest, they've gone ahead to obviously look very, 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 very ugly. And that's the reason as to why they're obviously going to sack him out of this team. And I think he saved them last season, but with the signings they've gone ahead to bring him through, I think they expected better, but it's not going as to plan. So they don't want to risk. They want to start the new season with a new manager. And when you look at this guy, he lost 3-0 to Nottingham. He lost 3-0 to Liverpool. That is Steve Cooper. He beat Aston Villa by 2-0. Then he lost to West Ham. He lost to Brighton. He lost to Everton. He lost to Fulham. He drew 1-1 with Nottingham Forest. And he lost to Tottenham Hotspur. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 losses in their last 6 games. And Nuno Espírito might be returning to the Premier League. Remember, he was at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and after leaving Wolverhampton Wanderers, went to Tottenham Hotspur. He never completed a season at Tottenham Hotspur. And where he was at Al Ittihad, he was sacked because of Karim Benzema, and he doesn't have, it is Al Hilal, where Neymar is. They sacked him, and they brought in another manager, I think is called Jesus. So thank you guys for watching. Through your reactions to Ivan Toney to Arsenal solo race on, are welcome in the comment section below. How do you think Arsenal is gonna sign this deal? Because Chelsea is out. Chelsea have gone ahead to pull out, and Arsenal is running a solo race for Ivan Toney. Hope that is good news for Arsenal. Then, what do you make about Christopher Nkunku returning tonight, making his debut for Chelsea? Do you think he's going to obviously transform Chelsea to being a side that is not in the 10th position? And lastly, what do you make about Nuno Espírito Santo? Do you think he's the best player or the best candidate to take to take over the job of the Nottingham Forest permanent manager? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. Bye-bye.